Tonight, Dexter fans, because Dexter Resurrection has finally premiered, and I'm back with episode breakdowns. Let's get straight back into episode 1 of Beating Heart. So, we start the episode with Dexter having his heart restarted. He hallucinates the Trinity Killer, and they have a discussion about Harrison before we see Dexter reliving Rita's death in his mind. Doctors come to check up on Dexter, and we get this amazing scene where Dexter hallucinates being in a graveyard with Miguel Prado, and Miguel shows him all the graves of the innocent people he inadvertently led to death, like Ritter, Deb, Dokes, and LaGuerta. It's such a good scene. I love this one. Anyway, we cut to Harrison getting ready for work, where we find out he's living at the hotel he works at. And after finding out that Harrison passed his GED, we see him get to work, and it seems he's adjusted quite well. But we all know that's just an act, as he throws some garbage bags to the ground, and I assume there was a dead body in here, but later in the episode proves that isn't true. Harrison takes some people up to their room and hallucinates Iron Lake, where he killed Dexter, clearly feeling guilt because he doesn't know his father actually survived yet. Harrison takes another woman to her room, and she says that in New York you can be anyone you want to be, and we get this amazing small character moment where we can see Harrison is pretending to fit in, but he knows he doesn't, and it really adds a layer to the character and relates him to Dexter all that much more, and it's just another thing I love about this character. I really don't get why people dislike Harrison, and I'm hoping that Resurrection gives people a way to really grow to like the character as much as I do. But back to Dexter, where we see him hallucinate a conversation with Harry for the first time since the original show, and inside the shipping container with the younger actors who played Dexter and Brian in original Sin of all places. And I just love that they got to come back and reprise those roles. It really ties back both those shows together, and it just adds some synergy to the whole brand and makes this feel like one big story, which it is. But at times with the different shows, it can feel a bit segmented. Doing things like this really ties them together in a way that I really like. Out of one hallucination and into another, where Dexter imagines Dokes telling him that there is some good in him and he needs to go find Harrison. But finally, after all that, Dexter pulls through and gets back to the land of the living. But we can't stay with him much longer because we're getting back to Harrison, where we see him helping someone to his room, where he spots the girl from earlier and realizes she's been spiked. He tries to let it go, saying it's not his problem, but when he hears her screaming, he bursts in and gets into a fight with the guy. Harrison's just about ready to let it go when he's winning, but the guy makes a comment that there will always be more girls he can take advantage of, and he's taken back to Kurt in Iron Lake with his bodies in his bunker, and this causes Harrison to lash out, and he kills the guy with the toilet seat in his room. He takes the girl back to her room and gets some cleaning supplies. After a quick cleaning montage, Harrison takes the body and dismembers it, using the tips he got from Dexter in New Blood, but he doesn't notice a single speck of blood, which landed in the ceiling, and we're sure this is going to come back later to bite him in the arse. Also, I just want to mention, in this show, they're using AirPods and, headphones as a way to play music for the audience, and, have it make sense in the show, and have it be, quite like Giant sound, but not quite. It's good. I like it. We cut back to Dexter to see him in the middle of physical therapy, and the show gets this very accurate. I've been through physical therapy, and I'm really glad they got this really well done. He gets back to his room and questions where Angela is, and finds out she ditched him in Iron Lake, and never told anyone what she knew about Dexter, leaving him a note that says they were even, and he should leave Iron Lake now. The fact that Dexter got out of this is a bit contrivant, I will admit that, but I think a lot of people are going to let it go just because they're happy to see Michael C. Hall back in the role, but I could see how it could bother some people. Back in New York, garbage men are throwing out Harrison's body when they spot part of it from a rip in a bag, and they call in the police, and we meet this forensics woman who has an ability just like Dexter to know exactly what she's looking for, and they eventually get the body pieced back together. Back to Dexter, and he and Batista finally reunite, and they talk about the past and Dexter's disappearance and Angela's suspicion that he's the Bay Harbor Butcher. Batista tells Dexter he's officially alive again, and Dexter fears that this is because you can't prosecute a dead man. In the hotel, Harrison realizes the police are onto where the murder was committed and that he could be in trouble. Dexter finds out about the body being cut up, and he's pretty quick to assume that it's Harrison. So he makes a quick escape to go to New York and find him, but not before tricking Batista so he can get out of the way, using a quick little nod to Quinn from the original series. In New York, we see Uma Thurman's character, whose name I've forgotten, breaking into some apartments and leaving a letter in what we can assume to be some serial killer's trophy. And the episode finally ends with Dexter finally tracking down Harrison. So that was episode 1 of Dexter Resurrection, A Beating Heart. I really enjoyed this. I think it's a great premiere episode. But what did you guys think? Let me know everything down below. I want to have a discussion. I absolutely adore the show. And we got a double bill, so you can expect a breakdown of the second episode soon enough. I'm sorry this was a bit late. I've just been a bit hectic. I'll try and get the second episode breakdown and future ones out sooner. But nonetheless, that was today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Goodbye.